Hello Internet, I the Roshi, and I'm back with another reaction, this time reacting to two Genshin Impact character trailers. First we have Iansan's, and then Varesa's character trailer. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with Iansan. Ooh!
Physical fitness has always been a big part of my tribe's culture. Young people even show off their muscles to each other as a friendly gesture. So obviously, if you want to call yourself a fitness coach around here, you've got to have the goods. Coach will take it from here. Quick as a flash. Step aside. You haven't quite hit your reps for today.
Oh.
Come on, one more set.
Wait. I'm sorry if I paused it too soon. No, that's it? Wow. That was less than a minute. That was so short. Okay, let's talk about it. Obviously, we gotta talk about it. Despite this character trailer being incredibly, almost criminally short, like, we're talking about, I don't know, even 4-star character trailers are longer than this. I wanted to see more. I was thoroughly enjoying this and its style that it was in, and the music was chill. Like, I don't know, I'm a little. It's weird. I'm a little disappointed in that I wanted more. Well, not disappointed that I wanted more, but disappointed that it was so short because I wanted more. Does that make sense? I'm sure that there's other really short character trailers out there, but this one by far felt like, I don't know. Okay, well anyway, despite its the length of content here, what we did see was really cool. I did like to see these visual effects that they have, like look at this and her diving down to do her stomp thing. This is all visually appealing. The pinks, there's some pinks, but I really wanted to say the purples and yellows, contrasting colors. They really pop. Looks very cool. I like these effects in between scenes and transitions. There would be like this flash of the high contrast yellow and purple with this bloom effect, and then you had more of that, like that comic book style in there. Those dots, always forget the name, but they're popping in place of like the visual effects. The eye candy in this is awesome. And although there was a lot going on, nothing felt like it was overstaying its welcome to me. Nothing felt like it was pushing the envelope in a way that it was going to get annoying after a while or anything like that. Oh man, and then this, there's something about it when you have these scenes in between other scenes where we just get mostly just these flat colors, these smears. I mean, it looks like it's all painted, right? But I don't know. It just keeps going, and it just keeps leading into the next thing, into the next thing, into the next thing, and your eye follows where it wants it to go. I mean, obviously, this is what you're supposed to do with all of these trailers, right? But it's very apparent here that they're making sure you're looking where they want you to look, and they're constantly changing things to prevent it from getting stale with their visual effects and how different and unique they are. And sure, you could argue, like, what are you talking about? It looks like every other Natlan trailer. I beg to differ. I don't think it does. Like, yes, you have the like the graffiti-ish style splash screen in the beginning with her wherever that is. Like, you have, like, sure, you have this stuff, right? Sure. But there's some, like, I don't know, like these the combination of the jagged lines, and it feels like, okay, this is what it is. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but this is what it is with this. It feels like there's so many mediums being used. Like there's a hint of it. Like obviously it's all digital, right? Like it's just digitally drawn for the most part. And then there's in-game stuff as well. But once again, the colors and the shapes that they're using. Like we have like a star back here, but then there's another oblong object that's like moving through it, but there's a gradient to it as well. You have a lot of these jagged zigzags, these like lightning bolts, these shockwave effects, because that's kind of like what she does in her animations, right? But then you have like the dots, and how there's a gradient to them as well, and how there's also like, my head's blocking it, I think, but over here, right behind my head by the eye, there's like little smear effects, little smudges and stuff, and then this like little crackles of lightning of different color, and then you have more random shapes with the triangles, and they're green and they match her green eyes because it's the only other green on the freaking page, and it's like everything is here for a reason, and it just flows so well, and I can't get over it. Plus, not only that, but this character, I'm loving her animations. And forgive me if I get this wrong, because I could be thinking of someone else. I could get it wrong. But I'm pretty sure in the comment section in a previous video when I talked about Iansan, how I've learned that she is potentially like the new Bennett, but she is the Bennett that is used for characters who are more mobile, characters you're going to move around with more. And in my opinion, that already makes her a more interesting unit. You guys know how I feel about Bennett. It's whatever. I don't like gameplay where I'm standing still, hitting a button, and I win. That's boring. That's not a game, at least in my opinion. For those of you who do like that, by all means, continue using Bennett. I want to play an actual game. So I'm going to probably utilize this character in the future if I end up getting her in one of my pulls. If I do pulls, whatever that is. My point is, I would not be upset if I had Iansan and I could eventually build her when I get to Natlan and all that stuff. It's not something I would do right now. It's not something I would try to build right now or go to Natlan early for, because for those of you who know how I do things, I'm not jumping ahead of things. I'm playing how things are presented to me chronologically as much as possible, for the most part. So yeah, if that is true, I'm excited to at the very least play her test run. I like her animation. She's got the running. I think Varesa also has her running as well, which is probably going to be better than hers, unless if you C6 Iansan. So, I mean, I don't know, but that's usually the case with 4 stars. You have to, like, get them pretty, you have to get their constellations for them to, like, match a 5-star, which is very unfortunate. But, hey, that's part of the gacha experience, right? Regardless, I'm liking the animations that I'm seeing. I'm liking the visual effects. This right here is really cool, how she pushes this barbell of sorts to knock over her enemies. That could be part of her normal attacks for all I know. Maybe that's her charge. Either way, I'm liking the variety in animations here. They're definitely doing that more. I know people always like to comment and try to correct me whenever I mention this, saying they're like, oh, but older characters have done it too. Yeah. I get it. They're doing it more now. That's the point. I don't care if you're like, oh, but Xiao from 5 billion years ago has different animations like that. We're not talking about Xiao. We're talking about Iansan. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're talking about here. We're talking about how these characters are coming out and they're getting more and more unique, including the 4 stars, which wasn't always the case. And despite the reasons for game and story and their relationships with other characters and who trained who knows who does what, we're not talking about that. That's not the case for everybody. They copy and paste a lot, and they've done it for a really long time. So, I'm not asking for a list of your 5 characters who are different. Just putting that out there. I'm sorry if that sounds rude, but it's like, obviously Hoyoverse is aware, and this is a compliment. This is a good thing. I'm praising this, and I'm so happy that they're doing it more and more and more with even their 4 stars. So that's it. That's pretty much. This was great. It was too short. It was too short, and I wanted more. But this is my first time learning really anything about her other than seeing her in the Travail preview trailer, whatever that is, forever ago. We didn't even learn anything about her there. We just saw her picture for the first time. Now I know that she is a fitness trainer. Awesome. And she let me know about some culture about Natlan, how the young people like flex on each other as like a sign of, I don't know, greeting and good faith or whatever that is. Like, I'm learning here. I'm learning a little bit. And I know these are things that you guys probably already know because you've interacted with this character before and all that stuff. But for me, this is my first time, and I'm pleasantly surprised. And I like her a lot more than I thought I was going to. I went into this thinking, like, I didn't know. I didn't know what was going to happen. Because I knew nothing. So how could I? That's it. I'm pleasantly surprised. I had no expectations, and now I'm like, ooh, intrigued. But anyway, with that said, let's move on to our 5-star Varesa.
So sleepy. I'm hungry. You're gonna be late. Oh, I can still make it. I can still make it.
Ooh, this music.
All contestants have arrived. On my mark.
I'm too late. I'm too late.
Hey, isn't that the reigning champion?
Oh, I think I should have timed right.
Whoa. This music.
The tournament is about to begin. Final call for contestants.
Where is she? Sorry, I stopped for a quick bite. Wait for me!
Okay. Let's talk about it. Okay, first and foremost, we gotta say the music though? What? That's like, I don't have they ever done anything that's like, I don't know if that's screamo, but screamo, you know, with their the that kind of grunginess, like, have they done that before? That's like, what? That caught me so off guard. I loved it though. That was great. That was okay. All right, let me try to go through this as put together as possible. Man, that's going to be hard. All right. I'll talk about some details first before I give my I guess my overall opinion. This beginning scene is great. Um, I mean, yeah, another scene with starting with a cute character sleeping. Sure. But what's funny about this is that I like just how I like the lunacy of it. I like how we have Iansan in her own like box trying to communicate about like, you know, you're gonna be late, hurry up, blah blah blah, whether or not this is in her head or something, whatever. This is her biological clock working, I guess. Or maybe there's some other way to communicate, whatever. But I like how we see the let me get my head out of the way. How we see like the loudspeaker, like electric kind of noise visuals to make it like she's being loud, she's yelling, and she actually warps the box that she's in, and then they over exaggerate her head size as she peers out of the box, and it gets larger because she's yelling at her to wake up. Like that, this is cool. I really love when stuff like this is just very it warps reality for the sake of telling a story a little bit in a comedic way. And I think that tells us a lot about this character in general, how she's here for comedic purposes. Well, not entirely, but I feel like she leans more into that spectrum of character, right? I know I'm not going to get into it too much. There's a lot of back and forth with this character, and I'm not trying to start any debates in the comment section. You can like her, you can hate her. The reasons why it doesn't, I don't care, and it doesn't matter personally, because honestly, it's not like Hoyoverse is going to change their mind and take this character away now. Doesn't matter at the end of the day. Why get upset over it? That's just my opinion about it. Whether or not I like the character or not, it honestly just doesn't matter. Period. Nothing's going to change. Anyway, regardless, back onto this. I like how she's in that spectrum of like comedy, right? Because when I think of other characters that are, the comic relief of Genshin Impact, I think of characters like Arataki Ito or Bennett. That's kind of it. Like, yeah, you could say other characters are have their funny moments, or other characters are cute and wholesome and they can be kind of funny. But I feel like there are just some more characters out there that lean more heavily towards like they are here to break the tension, to be that funny person. And that mostly happens to Arataki Ito. Let's be honest with ourselves. Sorry, more Bennett slander, I guess, but he's not important. Yeah, for your team, sure, he's good meta wise, and that's why, because he serves almost no other purpose. He has a hangout, I guess, and he shows up in some events and he provides comic relief. So that's pretty much it. So when you have just that character who's just kind of there, your other important character is Arataki Ito, who is your 5-star comic relief, right? And yes, there is a little bit more to him. I really enjoyed his story quest when I played that. However, I've also played some events that he's in, some older ones and newer ones for reasons. And he does kind of become like, oh, I'm here to make the jokes kind of guy. And it's very unfortunate because I do want to see more of a serious side of him. Maybe not super serious, because not every character has to be serious, but just like we get more of like a who he is, and not just I'm here to make a joke. Lately in events that I've seen, he's there to make a joke. Meanwhile, in the story quest, he's there to make a joke, but we're also learning plenty enough about him to be satisfied. Now, because we have Varesa here, who is a character that leans more onto the comedy, in my opinion, that can kind of be broken up. So maybe if Arataki Ito were to have some more returns, it wouldn't be solely reliant on him to be the funny guy and learn nothing else about him. Now, my only fear with this is that, are they going to make Varesa just the character who is only clumsy and hungry. Sure, she can obviously be those things and it's fine. But I will admit this trailer was a roller coaster because it had its high and its low points. At the beginning, I really liked how it opened, especially this part, like we said. And then we get to the middle and I stopped caring. Just because we already know this about her. We already know this. We got this plenty in her character teaser, and yet we're focusing on it again. We get it. She's a foodie. She likes to eat food. She eats food a lot. She has to eat food. It's good energy, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And now we're in a fantasy Pee Wee Herman, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory tunnel ride of burger madness. And it's like, I don't care. There's nothing here that's giving me anything about the character. And it's just like, I get it. She eats and she fantasizes about eating. Sure. I'm a little over it. And then the trailer saves itself by having like a crazy transition into just her going into badass mode. And this is what I'm talking about, because this is how we balance this stuff, right? Because if it was all just the burger time, I would not. I would be more along the lines of like, yeah, this is kind of wasted potential. But here there's something more. In my opinion, I really like how they showed just her going into this freaking JoJo inspired magical girl sequence, gamified action moment, crushing enemies, so stylized. It looks so good, and it sounded even better here with just how much they went in during these moments. I don't know. Sure, yeah, obviously it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and me talking about it like this isn't trying to convince anyone to like Versa, or even dislike Versa. Like I said earlier, I don't care how you feel about this character, as long as you're not being an asshole about it. You can like or dislike her, doesn't matter. Oh man, look at this silhouette. Very, it's just, I don't even know the word for it. Strength and serenity. I didn't notice that before. Okay, cool. Yeah, it just goes into like very comic book arcade game, like just something, and I love that. Her animations look cool too. Of course, when I do her test run, I'll have a better idea. I'll look at those more, to actually see them for myself and the details and all that jazz. I know there's also been some complaints about that, whatever, but we'll see. Regardless, she also has the speed, run like Sonic. Sure, I dig it. This scene at the end I really appreciated too, because one, we got more of Iansan, who is just the facial expressions on Versa too, but let's just watch this moment here.
Where is she?
Just the music is cracking me up. But yeah, just like the nervous, like obviously, although not in frame, tapping their foot, like we get that energy because there's like some jolting, and just like tapping the side of her head, and rolls her eyes because like, you know, where is she? Can't take it anymore. Like face palms, just kind of like trying to hold it together. Like, I'm running out of patience. She said she would be here. What's going on? Haven't you ever felt this way about anything or anyone? By the way, if you haven't, you are that person that people have waited for. I'm just saying that. But anyway, I'm sorry to call anyone out. And then this, just the energy crackling off her, that just sudden slide in, that's super fast, badass pose, just very superhero-esque. And then she reverts to her goof self. So I mean, I like the dynamic. I like the back and forth between the silliness and the super like, although I still think it's silly, like the action stuff that they have, because whether or not they're portraying it in like a unrealistic or like I mean, it's a fantasy game, whatever, but like like this kind of very colorful, fantastical way of kicking ass, it's just I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm saying that I just like the style. I like how they're portraying her. The only thing, like I said before, is her burger fantasy food obsession moment. Like nothing wrong with being a character that loves food and all this stuff, but it just spent too long here, right? Even like her running by and seeing the advertisements for food, like I get it. She sees it and she salivates and she's going to be hungry. But how much better would have been if she just kind of rushed to the scene and we had her like have to fight through these enemies to get to where she needs to go. Like it just like the beginning led into this part. And then at the end we have this where she finally gets to Iansan and then it's the whole like, okay, gonna go do the thing now. And then we have our credits, and then maybe there's a bonus scene after it that's just like 5 seconds of her eating the burger that we saw in the ad as like a reward for doing what she did and like getting her energy back. You know what I mean? Like that would have been so much more enjoyable to me and not just super in our face like she loves food. Did you know that she freaking loves food, guys? Okay, now she's gonna fight. Like I don't sorry, I didn't mean to click that and get screamed at. That's just my opinion. That's how I would have organized this or done this character trailer if I had any say. Not that it matters, but yeah, I think she's a cool character, and I think she could be even cooler or even more accepted if they just kind of held back on some aspects and pushed other things. That's just my opinion. Am I going to pull for her? Probably not. And I already talked about that before. I just don't want another Natlin character right now that I can't use. I think I already went on a whole thing about that. But I'm still super interested in trying out her test run. And once again, I get it. I get why some people will love this character, and I also get why people are just not gonna want to get this character. Makes sense. However, to get angry about the character, that's a whole nother story, and that needs to be handled not in my comment section, but on Twitter, where that kind of talk belongs, because cringe. Anyway, by all means, you do you, I guess, but that's just what it is. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it. Once again, impressive in a lot of ways. Very cool. Great beginning. Great end. Crazy music in a good way. And a lot of interesting stylistic choices with a little bit of that lull in the middle. This was overall an enjoyable character trailer. And man, I'm just going to continue looking forward to what Hoyoverse puts out next. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like. Share your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, what is wrong with you? Go and do that already. It takes half a second, and I would very much appreciate it. And if you want to support me in any other ways, you can check out the description on how to do so. Thank you so much, and until next time, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later. Wow.